I was reviewing quarterly reports in the waiting area of Prestige Motors when I heard my brother's voice carrying from the finance office. My sister will cosign. She always helps family. Through the glass partition, I could see Ryan gesturing confidently at the finance manager, Mom and Dad flanking him like supportive pillars. They were looking at a BMW 7 Series, luxury model with every upgrade. Price tag somewhere north of $90,000. The finance manager Sandra Chen looked skeptical. "And your sister is here?" "She's coming," Ryan said smoothly. "She knows we're here. She'll sign whatever you need." I hadn't known they were here. I was at Prestige Motors meeting with the dealership's owner Marcus Whitfield, who happened to be my wealth manager's college roommate. Small world. Sandra glanced at her computer. "I'll need to run her credit first." "What's her name?" "Jenna Morrison," Mom provided quickly. My stomach dropped. They were going to run my credit without asking. Without me present. Just assuming I'd go along with it because family helps family. Sandra's fingers moved across her keyboard. I watched her expression change, confusion, then surprise, then something sharper. "Your sister Jenna Morrison, age 28? "That's her," Dad confirmed. "She's very responsible. Excellent credit." "I can see that," Sandra said carefully. "Her credit score is 847. Ryan grinned. "See? Told you she's good for it." "Mr. Morrison, a score this high typically indicates significant financial assets." "She does okay," Ryan said dismissively. "Works in finance or something. Lives pretty simply, saves her money. That's why we knew she could help." Simply. I almost laughed. They thought I lived simply because I drove a modest Honda when I visited. They had no idea about the downtown condo, the investment properties, or the portfolio that had crossed 8 figures last year. "And she's agreed to co-sign a $93,000 loan?" "Family takes care of family," Mom said firmly. "Jenna understands that. She's not married, no kids, no real expenses. Ryan needs this car for his new sales position." Ryan's new sales position was his 4th job in 3 years. Each one had ended badly. But the family narrative was always the same. Ryan just needed the right opportunity, the right tools, the right support. And apparently the right car. "I'll need her social security number to proceed," Sandra said. Mom recited it from memory. My social security number. They had it memorized. I stood up, gathering my laptop. Through the glass, I could see Sandra typing, her expression growing more concerned. She was seeing the fraud alerts I'd set up years ago after the first time they tried to open a credit card in my name. Marcus Whitfield emerged from his office, spotting me immediately. "Jenna. Right on time. Sorry to keep you waiting." His voice carried across the showroom. In the finance office, 3 heads whipped toward the sound. Ryan's face went white. "Jenna." I walked toward the finance office, Marcus beside me. Through the glass, I could see panic spreading across my family's faces. "Mr. Whitfield," Sandra called out, relief in her voice. "Perfect timing. I have a situation that might require your input." We entered the office. Ryan half stood, then sat back down. Mom's smile was forced, brittle. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. "Jenna." Mom's voice was too bright. "What a coincidence. We were just attempting to fraudulently use my credit," I finished calmly. "Without my knowledge or consent." "Fraudulently?" Ryan's laugh was nervous. "Come on, Jenna. We were just getting things set up before calling you. We knew you'd help." Marcus looked at Sandra. "What's the situation?" "These individuals attempted to initiate a loan application using credit information for Ms. Morrison without her present or having provided authorization," Sandra explained. "They provided her social security number and instructed me to run her credit. Multiple fraud alerts triggered. Because I set them up," I said. "Specifically to prevent this." Dad found his voice. "Jenna, let's not make a big scene. We're family. Ryan needs this car for his job. Ryan needs to finance his own car with his own credit. But his credit isn't good enough for this model," Mom protested. "He needs a cosigner. And you're his sister. You have the credit score, you have the income." "Income you know nothing about," I said quietly. Ryan's face hardened. "Don't be dramatic. We know you make decent money in your little finance job. Enough to help family when we need it." "I paid for college myself," I corrected. Student loans that I paid off in 3 years. Dad offered to help, then backed out when Ryan needed a car. That car you totaled within 6 months. That wasn't my fault. It never is, I said. Marcus cleared his throat. Ms. Morrison, do you want to authorize this credit inquiry? Absolutely not, I said. And I want it formally documented that this inquiry was unauthorized and should be removed from my credit report. You're seriously going to do this? Ryan's voice rose. Sabotage my career over some stupid paperwork? I'm going to protect myself from identity theft. Identity theft? Mom's voice trembled. We're your family. Family doesn't steal, I said simply. Sandra looked uncomfortable. Mr. Morrison, without a cosigner and given your current credit profile, I'm afraid we can't approve financing for this vehicle. I don't want a lower price range. Ryan slammed his hand on the desk. I need this car. Jenna, if you just... No, I said. Marcus's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Jenna, your 2 o'clock is here. Conference room B. Mom grabbed my arm. Please. Just this once. Help your brother. So much what? I asked. So much that I can afford to subsidize an adult man's luxury car? So much that my financial security doesn't matter. You don't understand what it's like to struggle, Ryan said bitterly. You've always had it easy. I worked 2 jobs through college while you partied on Dad's dime, I said. I lived in a studio with 3 roommates while you had your own place Dad paid for. I built my career through 80-hour weeks while you coasted on Dad's connections. Nothing was handed to me. Actually, Marcus interjected, successful people protect their assets and make sound financial decisions. Which is why Jenna is here today. Ryan frowned. What do you mean? I'm meeting with the dealership owner to discuss a fleet purchase, I said calmly. My company is acquiring 15 vehicles for our executive team. The silence was absolute. Your company? Mom's voice was faint. Morrison Tech Solutions, Marcus said. Jenna's company. She founded it 6 years ago. They're one of our premium clients. I watched understanding dawn on their faces, followed quickly by disbelief. You own a company? Ryan asked slowly. A cybersecurity firm, I confirmed. 43 employees currently, projected to double by end of year. Sandra was looking at her computer screen with new interest. Morrison Tech Solutions, you handle security for half the banks downtown. 7 banks, 3 investment firms and 2 insurance companies, I said. Dad's face had gone pale. But you said you worked in finance. I do. I own a financial technology company. You never asked for details. The fleet purchase, Marcus continued, is 15 luxury vehicles. Total value approximately $1.4 million. Jenna's paying cash. Ryan's mouth opened and closed soundlessly. Cash. Mom whispered. The company has strong cash reserves, I said. We prefer to own assets outright. Marcus's phone buzzed again. Your attorney is here as well. Should I send them to conference room B? Please, I said. Attorney. Dad's voice cracked. For the fleet purchase and some other matters. Property acquisitions, patent filings, standard corporate business. I moved toward the door then paused. Sandra, thank you for following proper protocols. Please ensure that unauthorized credit inquiry is flagged as attempted fraud. Of course, Ms. Morrison. Ryan stood abruptly. Jenna, wait. I didn't know you were doing so well. That's great. So, about the car. No, I said simply. But you just said you're buying 15 cars. What's one more? Those are business assets for employees who earn them. You want a luxury car? Earn it yourself. I'm your brother. Family is supposed to help each other. You're right, I said quietly. When I graduated college with honors, you told people I got lucky. When I started my company, you said it would fail within a year. When I bought my condo, you told everyone I was probably in over my head. Every achievement, every success, you dismissed it. I was just joking. You were tearing me down so you could feel better about your failures, I interrupted. And Mom and Dad let you. Because perfect Ryan couldn't possibly be outdone by his boring little sister. Mom's eyes filled with tears. We never meant. You meant exactly what you did, I said. You kept me small in your mind so Ryan could feel big. You assumed I'd be grateful to cosign loans because what else was I good for? What's not fair is spending 6 years building a multimillion-dollar company while my family treats me like an ATM with low self-esteem, I said. What's not fair is having my own brother try to commit fraud using my identity. Fraud. Ryan's laugh was hollow. Don't be dramatic. Unauthorized use of someone's credit information is fraud, Sandra said quietly. Legally speaking, Ms. Morrison would be within her rights to press charges. Ryan's face went gray. You wouldn't. I should, I said. But I won't. This time. Consider it the last free pass you'll ever get from me. Marcus gestured toward the hallway. Jenna, your team is waiting. I stepped out of the office then looked back. Ryan, there's a Honda dealership 3 blocks west. They have reliable sedans in your price range. I recommend the Civic. It's what I drove for 5 years while building my company. I'm not driving a Civic. Then take the bus, I said. I did that too for the first 2 years. It builds character. I walked away hearing Mom's voice rise behind me. Jenna, please. Don't leave like this. But I kept walking. Conference room B held my attorney Rebecca Walsh and my CFO, David Chen. Spread across the table were contracts for the fleet purchase and documents for 2 commercial property acquisitions. Everything okay? Rebecca asked. Marcus said there was some kind of situation. Family situation, I said shortly. It's handled. We worked for 90 minutes reviewing contracts and discussing expansion plans. The fleet purchase was straightforward. 15 vehicles for senior staff who'd helped build something extraordinary. When we finished, Marcus appeared in the doorway. All set with the fleet order. Vehicles ready next month. Perfect, I said. He hesitated. Your family left about an hour ago. The brother tried to apply for financing on a base model sedan. We had to decline him. Good, I said. Rebecca packed up her briefcase. Jenna, are you worried they'll escalate this? Try to access your accounts. They can't. Everything is locked down. Dual authentication fraud alerts on all credit bureaus. I set it up years ago after Ryan tried to take out a credit card in my name when I was 24. But you never said anything, Rebecca said. I was building a company. I needed to focus on that, not on managing my family's boundary issues. So I protected myself quietly and kept my distance. That evening I sat in my downtown condo, the penthouse I'd purchased outright 2 years ago, the one my family thought was a nice rental. My phone had been buzzing all afternoon. I'd finally turned it off. When I powered it back on, there were 37 missed calls. 15 from Mom, 12 from Dad, 10 from Ryan. I listened to one voicemail from Mom. You embarrassed us. Ryan is devastated. He was counting on that car. Please, honey. We're family. We can work this out. Work it out. Code 4. Let us do what we want. I deleted the voicemail without responding. One text from Ryan stood out. You're really going to let your own brother fail because of your ego? I could lose my job without reliable transportation. Hope you're happy alone. I typed a response. I'm not alone. I have a company full of people who respect me, clients who value my work, and a life I built myself. You have a family that enables your failures. I'm very happy with my choice. I hit send, then blocked his number. Then Mom's. Then Dad's. Rebecca had asked if I was worried about escalation. The truth was I'd been prepared for years. Every account secured. Every asset protected. Every legal document airtight. They couldn't touch my money. They couldn't use my credit. They couldn't access anything I'd built. My laptop chimed. Email from David. Board meeting moved to Thursday. Also, venture capital firm increased their offer. You're officially worth $23 million now. $23 million. Built from scratch, earned through skill and relentless focus. And my family had thought I'd be grateful to co-sign a car loan. 2 weeks later, my assistant buzzed. Jenna, there's a Ryan Morrison in the lobby. He doesn't have an appointment. Tell security to escort him out. Flag him as unauthorized visitor. If he comes back, call the police for trespassing. 5 minutes later, my personal cell rang. A number I didn't recognize. Against my better judgment, I answered. Jenna. Ryan's voice was ragged. Please don't hang up. How did you get this number? I lost my job. The sales position. They said I didn't meet image standards without a proper vehicle. And I can't afford a car payment. My credit is ruined. Your credit ruined your credit, I said. Years of bad decisions. That's not my problem. I'm your brother. You're a stranger who shares DNA, I corrected. You've never acted like a brother. I didn't know you'd built all this. If I'd known, you'd have been nicer? The problem isn't that you didn't know I was successful. The problem is you thought my success didn't matter unless you could use it. I'm sorry. I was jealous. You were always the smart one and I was the screw-up. That sounds like something you should discuss with a therapist, I said. Not with me. Please. Can we talk? Family dinner. Mom and Dad miss you. You miss what you thought you could get from me, I said. There's a difference. What if I really do fail? Then you fail, I said simply. And you learn from it. But either way it's your responsibility. Not mine. I hung up. 3 months later, Morrison Tech Solutions announced our Series B funding at $52 million. The business section ran a profile. Tech pioneer builds cybersecurity empire. My phone, the new number only colleagues had, didn't ring with family congratulations. But it rang with client inquiries, partnership opportunities, and interview requests. Marcus called personally. Your brother came by asking about our cheapest used cars. We sold him a 2010 Civic. He looked miserable. That's the car I recommended, I said. I know. He said, and I quote, my sister was right about everything and I hate it. I smiled. Personal growth. How nice for him. That evening I stood in my condo looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there my family was living with the consequences of their choices. Diminished finances. Damaged relationships. The slow realization that they'd underestimated the wrong person. And I was here. Successful. Independent. Free. My company was thriving. My team respected me. My clients valued my work. And I'd never had to co-sign a single fraudulent loan to get here. Family first, they'd always said. They just never specified which family member should come first. I'd chosen myself. And I'd never been happier.